Gradebook 3.0, Miscellaneous Items. If we are back in the Gradebook for this class, there are a couple of things that we can do. If we want to enter in our alpha grades like we've used before, X for exempt, Z's or Y's or TI's for turned in, we simply double click in the box and then this will pull up and you can enter that grade in. So that's the same as what we've had before. Over here on the right under Action, this is the same information that was across the top of the Gradebook screen before. You can enter a comment on a student. So if I click Comment and then pull up that student, when I double click on that student, notice that only this student's grades show. So if you had the student up at your desk, you could double click on their name and that student will only see their information. If you want to add a note, you can click on Note, type in the note, and then if you want for it to show on Home Access Center, you would click Published. If you don't want it to show on Home Access Center, don't click that box. Then you would save that, and that note would be then added to the student under their general information. Also as well, we have the same student detail reports and the View Printable. These are the two reports that we mostly use from there. Again, they're not the best reports in the world, but that's what we have. Finally, if we're looking at a couple of other different things that are carryovers but in completely different areas, this little exclamation point gives us some specific information. If I hover over this first one, this would be a drop score for those of you that maybe dropped the lowest score. If you click that icon, it would show you what scores have been dropped. This is an icon that says, do any scores exceed the highest score? Maybe I typed something in wrong. So if I clicked on that, then notice over here, I have two scores that I've given a 16 to. They're higher than the 15. Now that may have been on purpose, it may not have been on purpose, but it's something for you to check if you want to see that. The next item under here, if I click on the blue arrow, it says student was absent this day. So this is similar to the old situation where we had the red box around a grade if a student was absent. This one you have to physically go click that button, and if the student was absent that day, then they'll have that little blue arrow next to it. Again, we're in the training system here, so we can't see that. And finally, the last one would be a C. Did I enter a comment for a grade? You can enter a comment by grade. You can, if you notice this here, I right click on the C and enter comment, and I already see that extra credit. That's why this student got 16 out of 15. I can choose to publish that as well if I want to, and save that. And so this shows me any assignments that I added a comment to. So that's that pull down there. Finally, if you have any withdrawn students and you're trying to find their grades as they transfer out to a class or come in from another one, you would select this for the students that have been withdrawn from the class, and they will show up in the same system in the same way that they did before, being in red along with any grades that they had previously. That's the general information for the miscellaneous items for Gradebook 3.0.